Hi, I'm Brian Mullen from Mullen TCG. We are back from the ARG States South Carolina Championship, and I am here with.
Will Mullen, aka B-Alls with the Ski-Alls.
And what'd you do in the ARG?
I got first.
All right, and what were you running to get first?
I'm running G-Novas with Victor.
All right, let's see your build.
All right, first up, starter was Roomball. The constant stand and constant boost was a huge bonus. Every line becomes power. He was MVP. I run 4 Red Lightning. Not too hard to explain. I always need the unflip, and he tends to provide it. He come in clutch very many times. I run 4 Break Pass. The boost from Vanguard is good. I like attacking. If I go first, I like attacking with him. Go ahead and get my draw. Convert him into stride fodder, a unit I can use. Something like that. 8 crits is always my minimum. Here I ran 4 Schnee Reagan, which is unusual for me. I normally go 12 crit, but I see Gear Chronicle often. So I knew I needed multiple cards in hand. I just needed easy 5k to pitch, and the damage check draws did come in clutch often.
Did it affect your drive checking in offense any?
Being used to 12 crit, I kind of was looking at it like, if this was a crit, what kind of pressure would it put? But honestly, the 8 crit still maintained the pressure I needed to swing the line multiple times and put enough damage on board in a single turn. So it wasn't bad, but that was a test at 4. I don't think I'll go higher than 2 or 3.
Gotcha.
And of course, Reagan Bogan, keeping with the Schnee Reagan theme. My favorite heel, he looks just like Victor. That's trigger lineup for grade 1s. I was currently still running Lady Cyclone. With other changes in the deck, I actually had an overabundance of unflip damage and very rarely used her unflip. I was going to test Headstrong Battle, but couldn't get a hold of him in time, so unfortunately that test will have to be for a later day. Lady Cyclone has been my MVP Perfect Guard since Victor came out, so she was always good to have. And of course, for Stride Fodder, I'm a G-Deck. I gotta Stride.
Gotta.
In this, I ran 2 Claydolls. Like I said, a new addition that kind of helped with my countercharging. I don't normally run him relying on damage taken, Lady Cyclone, or Red Lightning, or my more common grade 2 lineup, but he did help a bit. I don't know if I'll keep him in, though. I anticipated grade 1s, maybe grade 2 rush. Didn't happen. I never used his effect ever. Everyone rode to grade 3. I didn't have any issues with grade stuck. I tried.
What grade 1 were you missing then?
The grade 1 that I took out was Maliaki. We can get to deck edits later, but I usually run 4 Maliaki, and he is the powerhouse that, though I was missing, ultimately didn't hurt me. But he will be coming back. That concludes grade 1. For grade 2s, we'll start off with Cool Hank. I run him at 4 because I need the consistency of seeing him. I need as many cards with the stand effect given as I can possibly see. And he was the first one to come out. Next up, 4 Arboro. Again, I need the consistency of seeing the ability to stand up a rear guard multiple times within a single turn. I need the 5 or 6 attacks every turn, each and every single instance. So they improved with consistency. I love his Soul Blast. I'll ride the Perfect Guard with no hesitation. He sets up very well. Next up, I run 3 Starlight Hedgehog. 3's been my usual number. I don't need to see it too often, but even she becomes a good attacker. It maintains my Counterblast. She helps Tri-Brute keep low on Counterblast usage. She'll help me with a hand advantage, providing intercepts for all the multiple Melum attacks, for instance. She's just all around a good utility card. And again, a new addition just for this. Hungry Dumpty just to make sure I had all the counterblasts I needed. Often, when I used to run them in old builds, I would plasma Hungry Dumpty and still be able to use my Victor Stride over, or make Hank Live, Arboreal, whoever I need. Hungry Dumpty would just surprise people. Hungry Dumpty also unflips for Muscle Shrieks on Vanguard effect. I prefer Muscle Shriek because his on Vanguard effect will usually target a Generation Break reliant starter for the opponent. That'll often slow their deck down. A lot of Gear Chronicles kind of have to slow down if they don't get their Chronojan or Chronojan G effect off. His GB1 Vanguard effect to stand 2 rearguards often does come in clutch. Roomball always provides power, so the lack of power is not too much of an issue. His +2 makes any 9Ks viable at Vanguard, and guaranteeing 5 attacks in a turn often helps. That said, I can't wait for set 10 to replace this guy with a new Victor, if his effect is good. And the true MVP of the deck, 4 Extreme Battler Victors. Often I'll use a Stride over as much as possible. I didn't have to rely on his GB2 often, but he always provided Stride power every turn. That concludes main deck. For Stride deck, I run 2 Meteokaiser Tribrute. His ability to retire rearguards is crucial for my control aggression style. He powers up rearguards. He makes little lines much bigger while still getting rid of pesky back row or front row that I need gone ASAP. Looking at you, Commander Laurel.
I've seen you use him with Starlight Hedgehog very well.
Starlight Hedgehog, some people will keep me at 1 damage, for instance. They'll just attack my rearguards, get rid of my advantage. With Starlight Hedgehog, I'm able to attack with the Vanguard, stand up, effects on Roomball, he'll stand for free. I'll countercharge, start counterblasting with Tribrute, countercharge off the other Hedgehog, counterblast again. I've retired multiple units off of 1 damage, and the opponent just didn't see it coming. Meanwhile, the Hedgehog line is powered up by +5, +2, +2. Even a little 13 or 8K hits hard. A little unusual, I've got the 1 Vic 10. There are times when I don't have the counterblast or want to be conservative on it for Tribrute, and I don't like flipping up a Vic 10 or Victor if I don't have the GB3 active. So more often than not, I'll just throw out an on hit. They'll just perfect guard even to already stood lines. They'll avoid the +5. He honestly, a deck's wasted space. I don't go into him often, but he's there if I need to. I run Seabreeze at 1. I'm a G-reliant deck. If you didn't ride, whether intentional or otherwise, I'm sorry, I gotta get my effects off. In anticipating the grade stuck or grade 2 rush maybe, I had to do the Claydol and Hungry Dumpty to counteract his Counterblast 2. I did not use him in tournament though. He didn't come up, like I said. Everyone rode to grade 3, strode just perfectly fine. But never hurt to be careful. I run 2 Superhuman Blue Prisons. I don't often have heals in hand to see more than that. His +5 is fairly easy to get, but there's times where I just have to decide to take a different line just to be able to guard 1 line with that +5. All in all, not a terrible G-Guard. Could wish for better, but I do like him still. I'll use him often to get my GB3 active. I ran 2 Dismal, and that's my 4th and final G-Guardian. His ability to keep rearguards safe, namely Cool Hank, people would run into him all the time. The ability to not be chosen, there were 2 D-Police present, but I ran into 1 Kaiser, who, by the time I double G-Guard with him, double Intercept, he needs triggers, not grade 3s, and sometimes that punishes him. So he was a big safety measure, and I do need him.
It basically removes the core aspect of a Die Kaiser deck.
Exactly. The whole guard break Just doesn't happen. You gotta play fair. Sorry. Next up is 4 Mediokaiser Victors. Again, I try and use them when I have the GB3 active. I just get multiple attacks in. His on-hit still pressures people, same as Vic 10. They'll hear about it. They'll perfect guard. I've already got stood units. I'll just pass triggers. Or they take it. I still run 8 crits. Again, I used to run 12. Whether you guard it or block or take it, he was just a big push. I'll often get 5 to 6 attacks in a turn with the right setup. And again, the consistency of having multiple Hanks, multiple Arboro, the mini attacks early to or mid to late game got me victories on this guy. And last but certainly not least, the old MVP Victoplasma at 4. I do not run Bustard. I instead relied on old Plasma. He does not require any setup on a previous stride. He can actually just stride on a first stride if I counterblast 4. Again, unflipping comes in clutch here.
You did that once, I believe, right?
I did that once. Only once. I think I still got that one, but not on that turn. I had to wait to use a Victor later. But I don't often do the counterblast 4. It's not really necessary. If my opponent's at like 4 or 5 damage with 4 or 5 cards in hand, sometimes a stride power is what I need to push twice, even if he gets perfect guarded. Sometimes I also need to dig triggers. I get the 4 drives, pass on the rear guards, and with my deck's goal, they multiple stand regardless. That concludes G Victors.
All right. Thank you very much, and congratulations on the championship spot.
Thank you.